welcome to a very special BB Can postseason phone interview with your first evictee, Laura. Now, you guys know the deal. We're just going to quickly chat with Laura, and I'm going to ask her some of the questions that you guys have been tweeting me for her post-eviction. Remember, every single Thursday after the house guest is evicted, you can tweet me your questions for the evicted house guests, and I will ask them right here. Now, look, if you miss any of our shows back, you can check them all out over at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan. And if you want to see us do our shows nightly, make sure you become a fan over on YouNow, yourrealityrecaps.com/YouNow. Become a fan over there. It's completely free. You get to interact live in the chat. We're talking about live feed spoilers every single night. We have house guests on recapping the show. I believe we're having Allie on this weekend. Cassandra will be on in the early next week. So make sure you guys become a fan over there so that you are alerted every single time that we go live. Of course, if you want to help support our shows, we would love to go to Canada at the end of the season and do backyard interviews and bring you Liza's finale party like we've done in the past. We can't do it without your guys' financial support, so consider becoming a patron at yourrealityrecaps.com/patron. Patrons get access to the patron-only Facebook group, prize giveaways, weekly shows just for patrons, and of course we will be doing the after shows with the BB Can house guests when they come on. So we'll be live on YouNow for everyone, and then after we will go into the patron group and do a patron one-on-one after show. And look, that's where all the tea comes out. Of course, you can always do a one-time donation over at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal anytime. Of course, follow us on social media at Reality Recaps for when we are live tweeting the show and just to keep up on what's going on in the moment. But look, we have so much to get to with Laura, so let's get to it. Hey Laura, how you doing?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I have some questions for you from your fans at Your Reality Recaps. First up, people wanted to know who was in the alliance that you referred to in your eviction speech.
Yeah, absolutely. So my time in the house, obviously the live feeds weren't turned on, during that period, which was really unfortunate because a lot of stuff happened that, clearly people didn't get a chance to see. So when I first moved into the house, within the first hour or so that I was there, Sam had pulled Chelsea and I into the washroom and said, flat out, I want to be in an alliance. I want women to go through this game and run this game. Forget these guys, laid it on real thick. And I was here for it. I was like, cool. So when Adam won the first HOH competition, when I immediately seen her kind of drop the both of us and cling to him in the way that she did, that's when all of that phony and fake talk started coming out, because I felt extremely betrayed by that, and I just didn't respect that as a player. So that's actually what I was referencing when I talked about that speech, because nobody really knew that we had indefinitely made that alliance together when we in fact had. And so I basically said, like, look, you talk about, you say you're as real as I am. Well, we made an alliance on the first day. And if you don't honor that, then everybody here knows that if you cross them, that they're done.
Right. So did that like kind of turn into a big blow up? Because you kind of also alluded with your interview with Arissa that there was like a blow up in the house over it. So is that what you were referring to?
Kind of, again, because there were no live feeds, people didn't really get the opportunity to see how much she was playing, like every side of the fence. Like, even when the rest of us would go to sleep or would be relaxing, she had her back up against the wall from day one, had to be part of every conversation. You never gave you a second to get away from her, to even give you the moment to say anything bad about her. So that started grating on me big time. And that's kind of when I just, woke up one day and couldn't even look at her or talk to her. And that was the day I actually had the HOH conversation with Adam. So that's kind of what I was referring to, is just how much that really upset me.
Okay. Who would you have targeted if you had won HOH?
I think again, it kind of goes both ways. My initial reaction right off the bat, Damien actually was one of the people that I considered. I probably would have said Damien and Esty, just because I really think, I do believe that Damien's a threat, number one. Number two, he never talks any game. And I think with Esty, for the women, I think she's a really strong player, so it would have been them. But then at the same time, had I been HOH, you know, I have the gall to put people up that I don't think a lot of people would. Like, obviously I went home first week and, you know, I'm a pretty tough girl. I don't get shook about a lot of things either. So I think I would have, you know, taken the opportunity and used it and put up strong players like a Dane or like an Adam or even like, you know, Mackie, someone that's maybe a floater that's going to get all the way to the end.
Right. Who would you say you were closest to in the house, or who would you say you were working with in the house?
I'd say, you know, from a social point of view, obviously Eddie and I were like immediately clicked right off the bat. We just are, you know, kindred spirits. But I'd say who I was working with, Kaylin for sure. And I think a lot of people would be surprised at how, you know, close Anthony and I were. I mean, we were always good, but we had a lot of our own private conversations that I don't think a lot of people saw. Like, for example, I held that house meeting before Eviction because of Anthony. So I think those three for sure were my, you know, ride or die.
Interesting. All right. Last question. You said in your preseason interview that this was a year of yes for you. So what will you be saying yes to next? You know, that's been the question on my mind since I left, is like, what's next for me? What do I want to do next? I'm still very much in that mindset of like the year of yes, and I want to take opportunities that are in front of me, and I'm not sure, and I'm excited for that. You know, I wish I would have been able to stick around a little longer to let people, you know, kind of get to know me better, but unfortunately that didn't happen, and hopefully I left an impression while I was there, and I'm ready. I'm ready for 2019. It's been great so far, and I'm walking through any door that opens for me. Well, on behalf of the fans, we loved watching you, Laura, and we hope that you will continue to talk Big Brother with us during the season. Yes, of course. I will be there. Bye-bye, Laura. Well, that about wraps up our quick phone interview with Laura. She will be on next week for a full hour live on YouNow taking your guys' questions. So make sure you become a fan over there at yourrealityrecaps.com/YouNow to get alerted when we go live, hang out in the chat, interact with us while we're live doing the shows. Of course, you can check all of it out after the fact on our website at yourrealityrecaps.com/bbcan. If you guys are watching in YouTube, don't forget to thumbs up, click that bell, subscribe. That's a really great way to help support our shows for free, as well if you're watching on iTunes, 5-star rating and a nice review. Of course, if you want to financially help support our shows, check out our Patreon group. You can always do a one-time donation at yourrealityrecaps.com/PayPal too. And if you have any Amazon shopping to do, use our link, yourrealityrecaps.com/Amazon. Until tonight, I'll see you guys on the YouNow show then. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.